You guys are witnessing top speed.
You're only doing a good job petting him if he closes his eyes, Tom. A large Mada turtle.
This is the Madagascar bighead. These guys come from like Thailand, Vietnam, Laos.
We'd like to sincerely thank our Patreon supporters.
Babies, but no, they are two completely
Ah,
different
okay.
species. Both are full grown as well.
That's pretty cool.
Both critically endangered as well.
He's loving looking at that water dripping right there.
This little guy. So here's our Chinese bighead turtle, Platysternum megacephalum.
So where is this guy from?
These guys come from like Thailand, Vietnam, Laos. I'm missing a couple, but that area. And really big, prehistoric looking animal.
How big does it get?
I didn't mean big. This is about full grown.
Full grown.
I meant big head. Really big, prehistoric looking animal, big head. They can't fit their head back into their shell. This is pretty unique among turtles. Of course, there are others that can't, but this is one of the worst cases of it. That's about as far as she can get in.
Wild.
Yeah.
So that's just, it's crazy to think that, I mean, it's so similar to our snapping turtles here in North America that
what's that term
the other side of the world.
What's that term called for evolution, where animals evolve in the same way or in a similar way in different areas? I can't remember. I think it starts with a C or something like that. But it's an example.
Because it works.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Is the head kind of armored a little bit?
Armored?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It looks.
basically. She's got a very tough head. Very
bony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, she's got the beak there.
Does she have a lure like the snapping turtle?
No. She's got a beefy little tongue in there. But these guys are pretty well known for climbing up waterfalls and fast-moving streams. It's their preferred habitat.
And what do they eat? A lot of like crawfish
I would
or
imagine
fish?
so. With the gigantic head, I imagine they're crunching through, hard-shelled invertebrates and whatnot. We feed her shrimp here, shrimp pieces, and she also has just recently started taking aquatic turtle pellets.
All right. I like to live off of shrimp as well.
Yeah, it's the way to go.
That's good. Coconut shrimp, shrimp scampi. And start reciting all the recipes from
I
Bubba
had
Gump.
shrimp tacos last night.
The shrimp tacos. Perfect.
So here we've got some albino red ears. Got 2 different forms of albino. I can't remember what this form is called, but it's different than that. It's much brighter, much more vibrant color. And then of course we have the leucistic red ear down at the bottom. Looks like somebody took a Sharpie to him.
Pretty.
Hold on. You want to see the Mada you said? She is she's got MBD. She came from the Smithsonian Zoo recently, and they kept her indoors. So her shell is not developed the way it should be.
All right, here we go. A large Mada turtle.
My God.
So of course these guys come from the Amazon region. These guys they stay on the riverbed underneath the silt and whatnot, and with nothing exposed but these little eyes and that cute little nose, and they wait for an unsuspecting fish to go by. These guys' mouths close together so tightly and open so quickly that it creates a vacuum that sucks the prey right inside. Their throat here can even expand. Explain. Oh, mama.
Yeah. Anything in the Amazon has to take advantage of every opportunity.
Absolutely.
That is awesome.
Straight out of Star Wars.
Yep, she's very cool. She's not too happy with us, though. I think they have the cutest little face, though.
Yeah. It's smiling at us.
Uh-huh. Oh.
That's beautiful.
Really, really cool animal here. We had another one, but unfortunately he passed away. We're very sad to see him go, but hopefully she will be here for many more years. Like I said, she just came from the Smithsonian.
So it reminds me of Bubba. Like Bubba's got something going on with his hips, and all you can do is just give it the best possible life for the rest of its life.
Exactly. You know, I think she'll be much better off with the natural UV, you know.
So cool.
This is another rare species. Oh, you so fast. Absolutely stunning pattern on the shell. This is the Madagascar bighead. Very, very rare species. The head pattern is killer too.
Like,
Maroon and
wood grain.
turquoise. Yeah.
Yep.
Very pretty.
Prehistoric face. Yeah, these guys are great.
Nature is the best artist.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When you look at this facility and you see the insane, monumental amount of money that Ty spent building this right, you have to support it. Like he tried to give us passes to come in here and film today. No, absolutely not. We're going to support this. He's getting young kids. I know you guys do tours for kids, schools, and stuff like
Field
that.
trips, summer camps.
This is something that we want to make part of the Wolf's World experience. We want people to come here and see this. This is what reptile keeping is all about. This is what gets young kids involved. Like some of these rare species that you guys have, one of the only facilities in the U.S. having some of these species. If someone doesn't breed them and protect them or give awareness to them, then in some of the countries they're from, they'll get no protection. Like, this is important, what he's doing here, in more ways than just making money from a zoo. It's, it should be very special to reptile keepers to want to come and see this.
Yeah, you know, a lot of like Cyclura species, they're endemic to one specific little island, and you know, a lot of the times the natives won't have any idea. You know, they don't understand that small little island, you know, out in the middle of nowhere, it's the only place in the world where you can find that species. You know, so it's really important that we educate the public here and in their native range.
Absolutely.
And didn't you say, Jerry, that also keeping some of the more endangered species, if there was to be a thing where they needed some new genes to enter the gene pool?
They could have a virus on that island, or a hurricane could wipe them out. Something could absolutely happen. Some country doing some sort of bomb testing.
Yeah.
The U.S. has been guilty of that. Lots of countries do stuff like that, and then something's gone forever unless somebody is keeping it to reintroduce it.
Yep. Assurance colonies are critical. Yeah, because like you said, a hurricane, you know, for a species such as the Anegada rock iguana, there's only about 550 in the wild. The numbers are on the rise, thankfully, but, you know, one bad hurricane could set us back years, you know?
Yeah.
Could wipe out the breeding facility out there, could, you know, harm what's left of the adult population in a way that is unrecoverable, you know? Anything could happen, so what we do here, I think, is critical.
So another one of the things that blew me away about this facility was the amount of, again, we're going to talk about money, time, effort spent on every one of these smaller, but these are mostly smaller turtle species in these enclosures. I think there's a little box turtle in here. I think I see one in the back corner.
These are Mexican box turtles. You see another one over there in the
stream there, underneath the plants. It's insane. These enclosures. When I first saw them, the plants were just there. Everything was crisp and new. Now all the vegetation is matured, and every one of them is a work of art. It's incredible. that these animals have this environment dedicated to them. Are there any like highlighted species that you want us to see in this row?
Yeah, we have the Sulawesi forest tortoise, or forest turtle.
Okay.
I think it's on the list of 25 most endangered animals in the world. It's a very cool species.
I think manly men is also on that list. Wouldn't you say? Definitely an endangered species.
So here's our giant Asian pond turtles. We got those from the late and great Fred Grunwald.
Oh yeah. Good old
So,
Fred.
I'm gonna hop behind the fence here and I'll pull out some stuff.
So we only got the pleasure of meeting Fred twice, both times with Kenan. And if you guys remember, that's where he got his alligators from. But an amazing keeper. And just absolute lover of reptiles. What he had in his backyard was just incredible. And he didn't build it for anyone else, but for himself and for his animals.
All right, so here's our forest turtle. Jeez. Very, very cool species. One of the most endangered turtle species on the planet.
And where did you say they were from?
Sulawesi.
And where's that kind of general?
Oh man, why'd you say that?
Indonesia.
It's Asia. It's an Asian country.
Yeah.
What did that pop up on your screen or something?
No, it
Says it right there.
I cheated. It's on the tag.
You were the smart one. I was pretending that like I knew.
So these guys are really, really cool, really endangered. I've seen pictures of their eggs. It's a really interesting thing. Their eggs are really elongated, kind of oblong, and a couple inches long. Really cool little guy. Absolutely beautiful face too.
Now, is it so clean on his face because of the way is he eating algae off the rocks?
I would
Is that how he's keeping it clean?
imagine he might be taking a couple bites, but for the most part, he eats the same diet that we give to like our wood turtles, our box turtles. It's a protein diet. That's an older plate, of course, but today is not a feeding day for these guys.
Really beautiful.
Yep.
Shell shape.
Yeah, love these guys. We're lucky enough to have one. Maybe one day we'll have two.
All right, guys. So we're looking at now. Is this how you guys are cleaning some of the water from all the turtle enclosures?
Yeah, so it's all on an overfill system. So it's all open faucet. It all pipes down to the end where we just were, and then it pumps over into this retention pond.
And
So-
in this pond, it's full of tilapia.
Yep.
I see 1 or 2 largemouth bass in there.
Yeah, we try to keep them out. They're gonna eventually start eating our baby turtles and whatnot. But yeah, they found their way in. They've got a little cichlid there. It looks like a little Mayan cichlid right there up front.
Very protective of their beds.
Yep.
But you were saying how you guys every once in a while take some of the tilapia out and feed the monitors.
Yep, absolutely.
They're so easy to raise in the water, and everyone keeps saying that we need to put these into our pond. And it would be awesome, but if we did, we wouldn't have all the native fish in there that I really, really want. I'm walking that fine line between what makes sense for the farm or the property and what I want.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. I'm the same way. You know, if money wasn't, an issue and just the way things work, I'd love it if everything in this pond was native, because this is the purpose of the pond. This is what we put all our native turtles in. We've got a ridiculous amount of yellow bellies, peninsula cooters, red bellies. There's a couple snappers in there, some soft shells, and we like to have them all in here together. And there's a cool idea, but the non-native fish kind of take away from it a bit. I see what you're saying.
What it would be cool would be to do a separate above ground pool on the property that we stock with these guys. I know where you can do the little floating nets or wire mesh nets, different sizes, where the babies could find refuge. And then once that they get to a certain size, you throw them into the next net, and then you release them back into the population. And you can have these big above ground working ponds to breed your tilapia, but they're not affecting your main pond. And we could use it to also circulate the water as long as it's filtered well and we don't put the eggs into the big pond. I probably even having them on the property, it would be hard to keep them out of the big pond though. But something to consider, because
It's useful having a bunch of tilapia. You know, say the rat order comes in late, or you know hasn't got here, we can make ends meet with the tilapia. You know, all the monitors love them.
and they have a lower, like, they don't have the same need for a higher oxygenated water. They can live in low oxygenated water, so they can have a higher population in this shallow pond than, say, you couldn't have that many bass or brim or some other freshwater species in there. Not to that many.
Right. Yeah, they're great.
There's a lot in there.
We feed them all of our unused foods from like the iguanas and whatnot. So they get a bunch of like tortoise chow and greens and whatnot. And yeah, they go nuts for it.
Very cool.
Definitely.
Look at her face and how freaking sound asleep she is. She's like so asleep, if she didn't have claws, she'd fall off that branch.
It's the male, actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's a male. The female is the regular macro.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, of course, being an albino, he's basically blind. You know, you can tell he doesn't like track the food when I'm chasing him around with the food. He doesn't track it as well as the other monitors. This is our lace monitor. Her name's Karen.
Clutch of
Oh,
teen eggs.
stunning. Yeah.
And
Daily socialization and swim.
I produce, so they're, you know, everyone's monitors are terrified of natural UV. Mine are all somewhat used to it. Look at that blue-green on the face.
She's stunning, right? Have you seen the blue lace monitors?
Like the regular pattern, or is it a totally different, like a morph, or?
No, I think it's
Just a
like just like
naturally
a, it's
occurring-
just like, yeah. I think it's just like a phenotype or just a variation. But I've seen pictures of lace monitors where they're more blue than not. I mean,
It looks like it was eating a pile of marine grease. Marine grease is that blue-green color.
So this is Cyclura recordi, the Records rock iguana. This is Rico, and then Rhino over there in front. This is an endangered species, native to Hispaniola. Low numbers in the States. We luckily produced this species last year. We produced 15 perfect little babies. But very cool species, kind of like a giant spiny tail. These guys live side by side with rhinoceros on Hispaniola.
The beautiful red eyes like the Cuban rocks.
Yep.
And the spikes, that amazing blue teal color on his spikes down his back and at the base of his tail, and even a little bit on his legs.
He's got that really pretty orange color on his legs. And so that red color is actually it's like natural sunglasses. It protects his eyes from the harsh UV rays.
That's awesome.
You know, you got to think these guys come from islands made up almost entirely of limestone and white sandy beaches, constantly reflecting the sun's rays into his eyes. So the red color helps a lot.
What predators would they have where they're from?
These guys would be no natural predators.
There's no hawk or raptor species when they're young?
I would imagine, of course, like as they're young, but as an adult, these guys have no natural predators. Humans mess that up. Now these guys have to worry about things like domestic cats and dogs.
Yeah.
And fire ants and rats and
Oh, gosh.
all the other things that come with people. That's the story for Lewisai. Lewisai were wiped out by a small group of domestic cats and dogs brought in by hotel workers.
That's horrible.
Won't mind. He's a sweetheart. You guys can pet him. Wait until you guys feel him. His feel is so unique. Doesn't feel like any other reptile. Here, let me get out of the way so you guys can touch them.
We'll let Tom get in there and touch them. Don't break the branches, Tom.
I'm not I'm being like, what's up, Bubba?
Yeah, right up there behind his head. It's so soft.
Yeah, that's so funny.
How would you describe it?
Like maybe really soft leather.
Yeah,
Oh,
soft
nothing.
leather, kind of suede-ish.
Yeah.
I tell people he feels like my couch.
Very cool.
You're only doing a good job petting him if he closes his eyes, Tom.
I know. I'm trying. Maybe not. Maybe it's the camera in his face.
So of course, this is Cyclura pinguis. These guys come from Anegada Island. Their numbers in the wild are about 550. Their numbers are climbing, thankfully, but still has a very long way to go. This is one of 10 in the United States. He's a younger male. He's in his 20s.
And what's the expected lifespan?
50 to 60 years.
Okay. Almost middle age.
Yeah, it's hump day.
He's handsome. And have you had any success breeding these guys?
We've had infertile eggs so far.
Yeah.
We're hoping, so the first couple years that we had them, you know, we were really, you know, these are like the babies, you know, we got to make sure everything, you know, they're super comfortable, take no risks, that kind of thing. So we would bring them in and outside, you know, if it got cold, we'd bring them inside and things like that. So we never had any success like that. So we left them outside this year with a heat box, of course. We supply heat under 60 degrees for them. And we're hoping that, you know, outside the entire year, with the natural sunlight, you know, the natural weather change, we're hoping that will cause her to cycle proper and cause him to cycle at the same time.
And the enclosure changes are like a reset button
Yeah.
for a lot of these guys.
Yep. Yeah,
really.
so she's been in here for the last year. So hopefully come, you know, May, June, July, we may get some eggs from her. This is Egg. She was the last one to be produced in the United States. She was produced in 2010, and that year there was only one baby hatched, and that was this lovely lady. She's not too happy with us, but... Hi, Mama. Okay, that's enough. I think it would be beautiful, though, if it came full circle and she was the last one, or the first one to produce a fertile clutch for them, being the last one produced that year.
Now, so you said they're an island species. Is he expelling salt from his nostril?
Exactly.
So would they eat aquatic vegetation, or they would?
No, it's just it's the same function. It's just extra salts that they get from their daily food diet. Yeah, it's the same function, just much less salt.
Okay.
Yeah, he's definitely not going diving, you know.
No.
Why are you so angry?
So cool.
What's going on with you? You almost attitude. We were holding Geo, and his neck is, you know, all over the place, and there's just no safe way to hold him unless you're necking him. Like, he can turn around and get you wherever, and Rob was like, man, like, I would not hold him like that. But we know the animal. He's not going to hurt us, but
yeah.
It's definitely a long neck. It's definitely a neck that you want to grab a hold to if he is going to be aggressive.
So you'll notice this is the only enclosure all day, Tom, if you look back that way, that we didn't have to close the door because we don't have to worry about this guy running out.
You guys are witnessing top speed.
Oh, yeah. How's that? Any good itches? Nothing to make you raise up yet? Oh, that'll get your attention.
She loves banana leaves.
You know the age?
She's 38.
38.
She's a baby.
So I think at the rate of growth, my mom's is going to be this big in 2 more years.
Wow.
I don't know that, but I think my mom has one that's like 2.5, 3 years old. That is the size of Kennan's. That's like 14 years old or something.
Yeah, yeah. We noticed our galop was growing really fast. And, you know, obesity is a big problem that we want to try to avoid.
Yeah.
So we actually cut back food for those guys, trying to, you know, prevent that from happening. But Allie's 38. These guys live to be well over 100. The oldest in captivity, his name is Jonathan, and he lives on the island of St. Helena, say British Overseas Territory, and he is 191 years old. He's an old man. Allie, these guys don't even reach breeding age until what, like 40, 50 years old? So she's not even breedable yet.
Beautiful.
I think she weighs about 250, 300 maybe.
So fun to get inside when it's cold out? Or does she pretty much do it on her own right now?
What's that?
Is she good about getting into her
Oh,
box?
yeah, typically. There are some nights where we've got to come out here with like a carrot or something and bait her back into the house. And if bait doesn't work, we've got a wagon. Yeah, she enjoys her house.
She's
You should
beautiful.
come look at this sulcata. Let me shut this real quick, just while we're in another cage.
Wax myrtles.
It's the largest sulcata I've ever seen. He is most likely a Sudanese locale, but we don't have much info on him. We got him from TSA.
He is big.
He's a really big guy.
So wait, somebody try to sneak it into the country?
No, I don't think anything like that. I think it was just, I honestly, I don't know. All I know is that he came from TSA and we didn't get much information on him. We don't know how old he is.
But you guys got him or her that size? This
Yeah,
size?
yeah. Yep. Yep, absolutely massive. You know, sulcatas being the 3rd largest species on the planet, it's hard to believe when you see a bunch of 50, 60 pounders. But then when you see this guy, it's like, oh my gosh, like,
Yeah.
absolutely right.
And any massive digs, or are you guys constantly refilling where he digs?
No, he's got his little racetrack around the
perimeter there?
perimeter, and then he's got some wallow points. But for the most part, it's not too bad. You know, we're getting a little bit of rust over there, but all we got to do is pull that panel and put in another one. You know, pretty easy, simple fix.
Nice.
Yeah, thankfully he's not digging, you know, no 30-foot tunnels or anything like that. But yeah, it's pretty easy. You can see his racetrack here.
Yeah. Literally, his 2 lanes from his legs the whole way.
His name's Jasper, but we call him Speedy. Hi, bud. He was given to us by Joe Wazalewski.
That yellow is incredible
He's
on the
stunning,
face.
right? It's like lime green when he's really fired up.
And it's hilarious. You can get his whole head through there.
That's all he can get through. He can get his head and some of his neck through, but that's about it. Yeah, whenever I walk by, I make sure not to walk like against the fence, you know.
So cool. That's a great shot.
From what I understand, he's the subspecies of Argus from the island. I can't remember. Is it like Island?
Oh, here we go. Thank you.
Get him a stand. I did warm it up.
There we go, Tom.
He's such a cheater. He could do that without the wall.
Wow. It's almost a little bit more aggressive than the way your monitors eat.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he's so food driven, so prey driven. He is absolutely psychotic when food's involved.
Let's go.
All right, so we have the myth, the man, the legend, Ty Park with us.
Give me a break.
I mean, you've built the most amazing reptile facility, and I talked about it during our tour, like what you're doing to the enclosures you've built for these animals. You didn't spare expense. You went 10 miles further than anybody would have went to the amount of plants and the water and the rocks, and you've done everything right. And I was saying how everyone needs to make it a point to come here and support this facility, that it's important for young kids to see what you're doing here. It's important for young people to fall in love with reptiles.
Exactly.
Because there's no way for them to be protected in the future if kids don't care about them.
Exactly
And
right.
I feel like they care about a lot less these days.
Yeah. The computer and the iPhone or whatever the phone take most of their time, which is sad. Right?
But a kid you put that down and you get them to walk this property and see animals, see a blue tree monitor, something that they couldn't imagine like in their wildest dreams, or some of the snakes or the iguana species, or like I saw when you took out this,
Cuban iguana.
the Cuban, and let the kids pet it, like that's got to touch them in such like an amazing way, and then all of a sudden give them a love or an attachment to these reptiles. So it's amazing what you're doing here. And we were saying during the tour that how we want to monetize our property with this Wolf World experience and have people stay at my property and come do a tour at Kennan's property. And we want this to be part of the menu of experiences that they could come and do during that weekend. And
That'll be awesome.
we could pre-arrange it. Everything's going to be pre-arranged, so we can actually get a tour with one of your keepers here.
Yeah.
And they could give us, like, you know me, I only know the common names of everything, if I even know that. Like, they're going to actually educate you on these animals and answer your specific questions about their care and husbandry. And you have amazing and rare animals here.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, you've hit every nail on the head. I mean, basically, first of all, my staffs are amazing, as you know. My employees, their passion for the animal is right there, and they enjoy what they're doing here, right? And every one of them, I'm so blessed to have this group of guys and gals working for me, and that's number one. Number two, I mean, I had a certain budget, and I basically gonna triple it.
I think that comes with reptile husbandry.
Yeah,
Like you
I
take
mean,
your budget and triple it. That's
that's probably right. But at the beginning, you know, once you get into it, you want to do it the best possible. First of all, you want to make sure the animals are taken care of. That's just number one. And number two, we want our guests and visitors to see the animals almost in a natural setup, right? And that's very important to me. And you know, sometimes because they're big, the enclosures are huge, and you know, have a lot of plants, they might not see the animal. But we have almost 250 species here. If they don't see 25%, they've sold more than any other facility
You know, I
in
always
the world.
preach that. Like,
Yeah.
you'd rather not stress out the animal. Even if you can't see all of them, you
Right.
always have your couple showstoppers that are out there front and center,
Right.
and the ones that choose people.
Right.
And then there's going to be some that run and hide, like some enclosures. We didn't get to see our the black roughneck, which we just acquired a male.
Okay,
so
cool.
pretty exciting to have one again.
Yeah,
And I don't plan on breeding them. I think I only have 2 lizards in my collection that I consider
Right
pets,
now.
and this will be one. So it's not a big deal if we don't see it because we're going to come back. Yeah. It's the entry fee is not expensive. It's very fair. You have shaded areas. There are some areas in the full sun, but it's a comfortable place. There's fish, snakes, turtles, tortoises, iguanas, monitors.
Yeah.
Did I miss something?
I mean, literally, I think we have the largest collection of the iguanas, monitor lizards, right? And definitely turtles. We have about 140 species of turtles and tortoises. And I'm building an enclosure for probably 180 species of turtles and tortoises. Yeah, I mean, if you come here 2 years from now, it'll probably up to maybe, my goal is to get them up to about 400 species. And then, but at the same time, you want to do it right? You want to build them right enclosures, and we're working on an indoor room right now with Zoom Ed, and those are for the more delicate species where you could air condition them, give them the right environment, including the temperature, because some of these animals, they can't really take the heat too much out there, in the summertime. Yeah. So those are some of the things that we're doing. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep expanding it. We're not profitable yet. We just passed 2 years, so I'm still supporting it, which is okay. I kind of wanted to grow slow anyway. I'm hopeful that by end of 24, we should be at least breaking even, so I don't have to put keep putting money in it. Yeah. But you know what? I'm dedicating myself to this place because I think it's very important. Education, especially educating the youth, is so important. Yeah. And then, I want to support research. We had 2 PhD students do their research here, and because we have some of the animals in large quantities. I mean, for example, if you want to do a research on rock iguana, you have to go to the island, right? And they're all CITES 1 animals. So if you want to get the blood out for testing and stuff, you need CITES permit and stuff. There's so many paperwork involved. You come here, you see hundreds of rock iguanas. You could do the research in 1 year, what it might take 4 years when you have to go to the
see all their behaviors with other males that they can visually see, their behaviors with a single female, multiple females, the female. Exactly. Like, you get to see all the behaviors in a pretty naturalistic environment. Well, it is a natural environment.
Right. And the last thing is I really want to contribute to conservation work because, as a commercial breeder, right? Our business, most of us are doing it to make money, and it's a business, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I think there should be some more people involved with conservation side of it. I mean, I know some of the big shows they do contribute a lot to like U.S. Ark, for instance, but that's really to support our business, right?
Yeah, it's really the right to keeping.
Exactly, and that's very important, and we should keep doing that. But there seems to be lack of commercial breeding side, our hobby contributing to the conservation work.
In the wild. Yeah, and you've done that on a massive scale. I was telling Tom on the ride in here, and you know what? That's a whole massive thing in itself. Yeah. Because, like I said, I want to come back here multiple times, and I know that should be a very big subject matter. Maybe the next time I come. Yeah. And the next thing is you also have a love for plants and stuff like that. Yeah. We may be starting a secondary channel for homesteading and plants and stuff like that. And we've already discussed that you have a passion for that. You keep chickens,
You're always welcome, you know that. You're always welcome. Doors open.
And you've always been welcoming, and I appreciate that. You've always been good to me. I appreciate it, Ty.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
That means a lot to me.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. See you soon.